Euan is a 19-year-old music producer who specialises in R&B styled beats, as well as being an audio engineer. And Euan is on the line with us here. How are you doing today?
I'm doing brilliant, Toby. Thank you for having me here. It's just a pleasure.
So what would you say inspires your sound?
That's a good question. I would definitely say it would be a lot of the experiences that I've had so far throughout life. And I also think it's a lot of the music that I listen to from artists, and I just take that and customize it so it fits my own atmosphere and my own point of view on what music should sound like.
How does your life influence it? Because you say it's inspired by events in your life, but it's instrumental music and beats that you do. So
Yes.
how does your life influence music when it's not lyrics?
So I would definitely say that even instrumental music can carry a mood, like certain chords that you use, it can sound sad, it could sound happy. So your point of view or your feeling at a certain point in your life, I think can be transferred into an instrumental song.
Yeah.
So a lot of my beats will be a very laid back, chilled, ambient atmosphere. And that's because of how I would be in real life. I'm very laid back and very relaxed. So I think you definitely don't need lyrics to portray a message to an audience.
And some of the songs are quite ambient, and others, of course, have the R&B feel
Yes.
to it. So is it the intention to have it as a kind of ambient thing?
That R&B sound that you're talking about is definitely my main message that I want to get across. A lot of the beats are very happy sounding, very uplifting and soulful.
Yeah.
And I think my goal is just to have a plethora of sounds where there's some that are relaxing, some that's happy, some that are bouncy, and it's just to have that variety.
Yeah. Is it hard to do a variety sometimes? Because maybe you're used to doing the one style?
Yes, for sure. You definitely get stuck in the methodology or the thinking that goes into making a certain type of beat. And then when you try to do something else, you have to kind of readjust, take a few steps back and start something new. So there is definitely an adjustment that needs to be made.
So where did it start for you? How did you get interested in being a producer and audio engineer and just getting into music in the first place?
It definitely started back in 2020 when COVID-19 surfaced, and I actually had to leave high school and start homeschooling.
Wow.
So I had a lot of time at home, so I began experimenting with graphic design or video editing, and music producing. It just stuck with me. So what I've been doing ever since.
And how did you find it in those early days? Because you say your music is inspired by events in your life. So did COVID itself inspire a lot of creativity? Because everyone was going through all sorts of moods at that time.
Yeah, for sure. No, I could you're definitely right with that. It originally started as just a business opportunity. I thought, hey, people can make money doing this type of thing. But what I found is that when you start something, it doesn't always work like they expect.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you just have to stick with it. And the more I stuck with it, the more this passion kind of grew.
Now, you've stated in the past that your ultimate goal is to change the definition of a beat. How do you think you'll go about that, and what definition do you want it to be?
That's a brilliant question. I think right now a beat is really seen most of the time as a bit stagnant and an unfinished product that needs someone to rap over it or sing over it. And I want to change that to where this can be something people listen to on its own. It's already a finished product. The message is already there. And I'm going to do that by continually improving the art, working on the craft. And I think eventually it will get to that point where people enjoy it on its own.
If somebody is just discovering you, which songs, or maybe you can pick a few songs, do you think they should listen to first to get an idea of what you're all about?
Good question. I released a few beat tapes this year, and I think the one that you should definitely start with is called In the Meantime. It's exactly that R&B, ambient, laid back sound, and it's a blend of different beats, but it's very perfect, especially for a midnight type of vibe.
And what else is coming up for you? Do you have more songs that you've got planned?
Yes, definitely. I have a lot of beat tapes coming out. It's actually a crazy amount of work that I want to put out. And I'm honestly very excited for the future. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen with all these things. I'm ready, an idea that I have in my head.
And in the meantime, where are we able to find all your music?
So right now it's on most of the streaming platforms like Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music. as well as YouTube and my beat store. YouTube gets all the beats first that they're uploading, and then from there, certain ones get selected to be put on the streaming platform.
Well, many thanks for talking to us today. It's been great to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me, Toby. It's been great.